This is going to be my first time performing the level 100 Pokemon before Brock Glitch. I'm actually excited to do this because I understand how it works, I've just never really done it before, so we're going to see how this ends up playing out. Now, unfortunately, this could take me quite some time to actually get started because Weedle is only a 5% encounter in blue version. That in blue version, yeah, I can also find a Pokemon like Pikachu instead of a Weedle. So in blue version, Caterpie is going to be the 50% encounter, and in red version, Weedle is going to be the 50% encounter. Now, I do have blue version, so this is going to take a little longer, but while we're going for that Weedle, I guess I can talk about what's going on right here. So it's not going to be a super hardcore, quick-to-the-point guide. It's mostly my first experiences because I know how the glitch works. I've seen guides for it. I'm just going to see if I can attempt it straight up just like this. So that could be entertaining right there. And also, it's kind of like a modified Trainer Fly glitch, that we don't have access to Fly, and we don't have access to the escape rope, so we can't do any of that shenanigans right there. And I've already done videos on the Trainer Fly glitch, as well as the Experience Underflow glitch, so I'm looking to do a couple of interesting things like that, and that could get pretty fun. But first off, we need to encounter this Weedle, we need to get poisoned, and then we need to go and make the long, grindy parts of the glitch work. But once it works, then we're going to be good to go. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is some of you guys might remember my good old friend 8F going and deleting my save file. So by performing the level 100 Pokemon before Brock Glitch, it means I'm going to have a level 100 Pokemon, and I can crush the rest of the game pretty quickly. Now the reason also why I'm practicing this is I'm just going to kind of screw around and see if I can get it proficiently. That way if I go for a really quick run of the game, I can see how fast I can beat this game, and then maybe apply it to like a stream or something. That was kind of the idea. Just go and stream me rebuilding, you know, just streaming the rebuild after resetting my save file and then trying to do it. So if I have level 100 Pokemon, that'd be pretty cool. It shows some flair for the stream, I get to beat the game really fast, and then we could get back to, it's like, god, do I want to perform the 8F glitch again and try to get all those Game Freak event Mews or something like that. You also might have noticed, actually I don't think you've noticed yet, but I named my trainer GF, just Game Freak, because why not? But now we have the Weedle, and the adventure has just begun, guys, because what I need to do is I need to have this Weedle poison me. It could happen, it couldn't happen. This is my third attempt, because I went through 2 full health bars on my Charmander, and Poison Sting did not poison me. Also, the critical hit didn't do anything extra, and there we go. We did get our poison right there. So I guess we can just kind of go through the battle as normal and take a little bit of extra damage, and then we'll be able to trigger the poison. Now, what I want to do is I want to walk in front of that trainer on a poison turn that would also cause it to where the Pokemon in the grass spawns. So we need to have that happen. Also, by using Growl and lowering the attack, it's going to make it to where Weedle isn't KOing me as fast. So I guess I'll just skip ahead to that part, like once we get out of the battle and all the fun stuff starts happening. And now it's time for the fun part. So I'm in the right place to where I have the Poison Frame activate on the turn that he encounters me, but the reason why I'm poisoned is that it makes to where I can actually encounter a Pokemon while fighting this guy. Unfortunately, as you can see, we're in a battle, so I'm gonna see how many retries this takes. Now, of the guides and people I've seen talking about it in videos and posts and whatnot, it seems like this can take 20 tries, hopefully not many more, but at least on the Virtual Console, I can kind of reset it pretty quick, and then we're going to be good to go right there, and yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not going to be a Pokemon. So this is going to be my life for a while until we get into that Pokemon battle. Now, inside that Pokemon battle, that's when I want to faint, and then that effectively causes Trainer Fly things to happen. So let's go and watch it once I actually get that encounter. Okay, that took a lot longer than I expected, but I finally did it, guys. We got the poison tick on the same turn that I should be fighting a dude, but I'm not fighting a dude. And now we just need to mash through until our little Charmander goes down. So we don't need to be killing the Caterpie, we need to be getting fainted by it. And I think we're going to be pretty good to go right there. At least the poison will take us down. If Caterpie just does more offensive moves, that works out pretty well. So yeah, Caterpie takes us out. We're at a usable Pokemon, we black out, and then that's good to go. And as you can see, that's how you know when the glitch worked. You see the little exclamation point because the guy tried to fight me, and I just kind of died in front of him to a Caterpie. Now this is where things start to get really interesting because Trainer Fly is officially active right now. So if you understand Trainer Fly glitch, pretty much the last Pokemon that you encounter before heading back to the route where the glitch was performed will determine the Pokemon that you end up encountering based off of the special stat. So the next special stat Pokemon that we see, it could cause one of these Pokemon to appear. Now you guys might know about Gengar because you can actually game the system pretty well. By choosing Charmander, you can go and fight Gary. His last Pokemon, the Squirtle, will actually have a stat that lines up with the Gengar. You don't encounter any other Pokemon, you go and get Gengar. There's also some other ones, such as the Ivysaur or the Nidoking, and these will be the ones that we can also use for the glitch, because unfortunately, when it comes to experience underflow, you can only use Pokemon from the medium slow experience group. So that is going to go and give us the Nidoking and some other Pokemon right here. So Nidoking, Nidoqueen, these Pokemon are available, and also the Ivysaur. So it's kind of just like choosing the Pokemon that you want and then going for the special stat. Now, I haven't really seen any guides talk about the specific special stats of the Pokemon that you encounter. So now I'm in the grass patch just south of the entrance to the forest. I'm looking for a level 3 Pidgey or a level 3 Caterpie. This is going to be the one that ends up with the Nidoking, and if you end up fighting Gary or Blue or whatever, they just want to take that little bit of path to the south and not encounter any wild Pokemon, since it sets it at the last Pokemon that you encountered. Now you can run away from this battle, but that is not what you want to do. First off, you want to drop the opponent's attack stat as low as possible, which is why you need to have a Pokemon with Growl. So you do have to choose Charmander or Bulbasaur if you're going to do this method. Since Squirtle only has the Tail Whip, it's not going to be useful for having the experience underflow, and it's not going to work that way. So make sure you make it to where you drop the Pidgey or the Caterpie's attack as low as possible, and it's not really too hard of a battle. You're just going to be here chilling for a bit, and then you want to not encounter another Pokemon. If you do encounter another Pokemon as you're leaving the grass, just go for another Pidgey and then do this all over again. Also, I think that means it's just very strongly recommended you look for your encounter on the outside of the patch. So that's going to be 6 Growls right there, and we have enough health to survive. But this is also where you might get into some problems. It is recommended that you either buy a lot of Pokeballs, you save your game beforehand, or you also go and get your potion out of the PC box. So everything went good right here. I'm just going to save it right now. Then we're going to head back into the forest, and some really fun stuff is going to happen. Your game will be possessed as you go into the forest, and it will automatically press the start button. So all you do is cancel out of it, and then you go into a Pokemon battle just like that. And if you did it right, it should be the right Pokemon. I guess maybe with some DV variants, you might get a different one, but for the most part, I did level 3 Caterpie and Pidgey to test, and that is how I get my Nidoking. So that's when you want to go and throw a bunch of Pokeballs until you end up catching it. This could take a while because you miss the Pokemon when they're at high levels like this for some strange reason, and also, like I said, it is recommended to have some potions or something going into it, or else you just might be in for a lot of resets, and that could be an issue right there. So we're going to see if we get it on this one or the next one. And that's kind of it. But the big thing that you notice is the Nidoking is level 1. There should not be level 1 Pokemon, which is kind of where the experience underflow goes into play. So let's go and do a soft reset. The good thing about the glitch is that it remains active even through a reset. So now all we have to do is reset the game, and then we can go and encounter ourselves another Nidoking and try again. Now, one thing interesting about the glitch is that your game works exactly the same as long as you don't go to the other route. That you can save, you can talk to the Pokemon Center and get healed up if you need to. So that's also something else we could have done, that once we get out of the battle, run to the Pokemon Center, run back, and then try to get a better shot against the Nidoking. Just pretty much depends on how much you want to soft reset or not. And there are some other things that happen. So that save I did after I did the last Pidgey battle, completely unnecessary. That every time you soft reset the game, you do have to fight another Pokemon to modify the stat that you're looking for just correctly. So that's kind of an issue right there. Also, do make sure all of your Growls land. There is a chance that Growl can miss, so make sure you're getting your opponent's stat as low as possible. Crits could kind of suck as well, so as long as I don't take too much damage. It looks like I will just use the Pokemon Center and try to get a better shot at getting the Nidoking. So wait until it says that the attack can't go any lower, and then we're going to be good to go. Also, I think, yeah, nothing happened. There we go. So once nothing happens, then that's where we're going to be fine. And then sometimes you get the text. Okay, I don't know what causes what, but there we go. And that is going to be our Nidoking, and it should be at level 1, which means we did everything right again. And now we have a 20 hit point Pokemon. So maybe I should have sold the antidote I got, because yeah, I have this random antidote here. That could have been another Pokeball, just with the loose change. And now we get to go and miss every Pokemon again. I was also trying to think, if I use Growl and it reduces the damage enough, just Nidoking has so many stats, can get a little annoying right there. And it's honestly worth using the antidote in this situation to just make sure I'm alive longer, since antidote just does so much. Nidoking will hurt itself in confusion. Like, it's honestly, the biggest problem isn't having to where the Pokemon can escape from full health or anything, even though I think Nidoking's catch rate does make that a possibility. It's just the Pokeball missing so often. I guess something causes that to happen. I don't know, a lot of people just talk about this as being one of the main frustrations behind it. So if I wanted to, I could battle my rival and try to get some extra money, and Yeah, I'll come back in a year when I finally catch this thing. Alright, so I finally caught the Nidoking, and remember, this is my first time, so things I learned, yes, you do want to go and throw an attack at the Nidoking. I noticed that my balls weren't missing after it wasn't at full health, so maybe that was a bit of a problem right there. Also, I leveled up my Charmander 1 level. I did that because a little bit more durability, a little bit more reliability. Those aren't really bad things, and now we have ourselves a Nidoking. Now here's the thing, my Nidoking has some pretty good moves right now that we have Tackle, Horn Attack, Poison Sting, and Thrash. So I can kind of take down a lot of Pokemon if I need to, but we aren't done just yet. The next thing that we need to do is head into the grass, encounter a wild Pokemon, and then, actually no, we should have Nidoking first in the party. That way we can go and switch into our Charmander, split the experience, and then have the experience underflow, and then suddenly jump up to level 100. So let's go and get that out of the way, and then I'll talk about the reasonings as to why I chose Nidoking instead of the Gengar. That's mostly because of moves. Like, I understand that Gengar's a really cool Pokemon to have. It's like, yo, single player Gengar before Brock, and then you use Gengar to beat up most of the game. That sounds pretty awesome. Problem is, Gengar doesn't get a lot of moves. It has the Lick, and it has the Nightshade. Now, Nightshade does deal damage equal to your level, so you're going to be doing 100 damage for a very large chunk of the game, and it's going to get you by pretty well. Now, there is one really interesting point to bring up with this video, is that Nightshade and only Nightshade is not necessarily a bad thing, because Nightshade doesn't care. It will hit both normal type Pokemon and psychic type Pokemon. That's what's changed in future generations. But for the first generation, if you are going to be doing this, choosing Gengar does work. It just pretty much Nightshade spams over and over again. There will be times where it's better than the Nidoking, such as when you're getting heavily resisted. But also, I just like Nidoking because it's coverage, so let's go and talk about that. So when it at least comes to the Nidoking, that Nidoking gets better moves and still has like a lot of damage. So Horn Attack, 65 base power. Right there, 90 base power on the Thrash if you need it, and also a ton of TMs, that once you start finding yourself in the TMs, Blizzard is absolutely overpowered in the first generation. 90% accuracy, 120 power. So once you make it to the Celadon department store, you can grab yourself a Blizzard, and everything is going to be pretty awesome right there. So you're going to get better coverage that'll carry you further in the game, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. So yeah, Nidoking, I just find it to be a more reliable choice than the Gengar, but Gengar is kind of the cooler, edgier one, and that's pretty much all there is to the glitch, guys. So I have my Nidoking, it's a level 100 before Brock, and I can utilize this to help getting my save file back pretty quickly. Now, also one thing that I kind of like, I'm just going to do closing thoughts right now. So, overall, I did learn a couple of things about the glitch, like just doing it the first time, but it's not that hard. That it's, like, the guides, even when you're, like, reading the pictures and watching videos and stuff, it almost seems like it's harder. It's like, no, it can't be this easy. Maybe there's something else technical about it. It's just tedious. It takes a while. You have to keep grinding until you can get that Pokemon encounter on the same time you're landing on the tile with the poison and all those other things, and then making sure you get the right Pokemon encounter and then actually catching the Nidoking. All that stuff takes a lot of time that I thought it'd be maybe, 20, 30 minutes, but it ended up taking a little over an hour. Now, that might have been just from inexperience, but I don't see any ways I could have made it a lot faster. So that's kind of an issue right there. And I was also thinking about it from like a speedrunning standpoint, that apparently the world record right now is under 2 hours for a glitchless run of the game. That's absolutely ridiculous to think about. And if I spend an hour trying to farm up this Pokemon and then I one-shot everything, I'm not like aiming for a world record. I'm not trying to speedrun the game, but it seems like the other conventional methods are actually a little faster than if you get, I guess, average or kind of bad RNG on trying to perform this glitch and stuff. Also, I don't even know why I'm running around the grass and encountering Pokemon. I should be like on my way to beat Brock and stuff like that. So, it looks like it sets you back early, but then you can just snowball the late game and then trash everything. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I'm going to see how this applies, how fast I can beat a game with the Nidoking. Now, I do want to do a fresh save, and I do want to try some other things, but at least I learned how to do it, and it's not hard, guys. That pretty much everything you've seen in this video, everything you've ever been told, it's all easy. It's Trainer Fly. All you have to do is set it up, and that's the Trainer Fly you know and love, and then you should be good to go. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.